again about vampires as a concept, because I think Karl Marx often used like vampirism to explain capitalism, right? And he constantly used it as a metaphor, and I thought it was so brilliant in this, and maybe I'm reading this wrong, but the minute they kind of lose is when they seek the white man's money. It's good me saying it, but I need you to say it.
Well, I said it with the movie, so I can't. No, but I can't double down. Like some of the stuff you asked me, bro. I can't like.
I can't. What is? I wonder why he kind of froze up like that.
Pass. And we editing the film and mixing the sound, and sometimes I'll be like, oh, that's what I meant, and this wasn't based on anything like direct, so you pull from yourself, you know what I'm saying? So I see a lot of myself in it.
We're gonna kill every last one of you.
Warner Brothers agreed to spend $90 million to make Sinners and agreed to give you a cut of gross ticket sales. Warner also agreed, and this is absolutely key, to relinquish its ownership of the film team.
We're gonna go
do 25 years. The Times reports, quote, some rival film companies were horrified.
I need to do more of these missions. I almost thought I picked the wrong thing after I did that mission though, so I'm Gucci.
Nothing about this deal is a new thing, you know.
What's your guesses, Ryan?
It's not a con.
Let me up there. Martinez.
I'd rather not say.
I beat the first one. What do we get from this one? This and helmet. So we're going necklace for sure, 1000%.
So this handsome black man is named Oscar Micheaux, and he owns the title of being the first black director of major motion pictures in American history. Micheaux was born in Chicago in the late 1800s after the end of slavery, but still within Reconstruction and then obviously Jim Crow. Micheaux seemed to have an innate hustler's mentality, working numerous professions and business ventures, trying as much as possible to be his own boss, which led him to be a homesteader in South Dakota in 1910. Here he developed the knack for storytelling and fiction and eventually film, writing his first book based on his experience as a homesteader in 1919, which he eventually turned into a movie. Much of Micheaux's work is lost to me. A glance at his Wikipedia page indicates that he has dozens of movies that just are not in circulation. But from what is known of his work, it's clear that way back in the 1900s, black artists like him were concerned with issues of race,
who played that?
Liberation. Micheaux was a black filmmaker of his time. However, scholars tend to put him above the rest due to the content of his films, their willingness to present a more robust and introspective image of black life in America than others would. Further, Micheaux didn't just challenge white people with his depiction of black life, he also addressed the prevailing opinions of black people about other black people at that time period where class divisions amongst black people were beginning to be more prominent. He was a pioneer in that regard. Because of this, he often faced protests and censorship for his films. The Hollywood system that we know today didn't really exist back then.
It took forever to try to click on that, dude.
The Hollywood system definitely shaped what film would be in the 1920s. All of it still fundamentally driven by the same forces of capitalism, culture, and consumerism. All of those, of course, affected by race and class. Race and class dictate what stories get told and by whom. However, if you look at Micheaux from a certain perspective, maybe from the perspective of how art and media is controlled now, Micheaux might have had more freedom in the 1920s than black creators have today. Hollywood wasn't as much of a capitalist machine yet, so he didn't have to worry about.
I know you love it, my man. Also, since when you're interested in history, I've always been interested in history. I just think that I'm only really interested in Black history. If I'm being honest, Black and like Asian history, like perfectly Japanese history.
And he wanted the opportunity to tell those stories. Micheaux might seem like a tangential figure.
Like when I saw this, I was like, ooh, I like. What was the title? The Real Horror Behind Sinners, and I love Sinners. Sinners to me was like one of the most phenomenal movies ever created. And so I'm like, oh, what the fuck's this guy got to say? Like, this guy is a YouTuber that I found one day, just like looking around, and I forgot what other video he did for me, or he did not from, well, I watched it. He did, but it was just really well put together, really like well thought out, and I just like the way that he did his delivery overall. So I just kind of like followed him since then. But he put this one out, and it caught my eye.
Of the question, I'm going to be.
It just came out yesterday too, so and it was like an hour. I was like, oh, okay, why not?
Like Sinners so much. So what was your favorite part of the movie? What was your favorite part of Sinners?
Oh man, I think, as cliche as it is, I think the "Somebody Take Me" whole sequence was just so beautiful. As someone who like loves Afrofuturism, it just felt like such a tribute to that entire movement and the entire idea of this interconnectivity throughout, you know, specifically Black Americanness, but Black culture going backwards and all that connectivity.
The history of music that happens in the, like, that just comes out of not nowhere because it's been very music heavy, but suddenly that Ryan Coogler clearly decided
the movie I like Dusk Till Dawn combined with the versions of Ryan Coogler.
On paper, Sinners
with the visions of Ryan Coogler.
Idea from like a black goth
movie is Sinners is like Dusk Till Dawn combined with the visions of Ryan Coogler. Okay. I got you. I've never seen Dusk Till Dawn. I need to add that to my list really quickly. Hold on. Dusk. You said Dusk Till Dawn. Yeah, as you said. From Dusk Till Dawn. Dude, why do I keep getting invited to these?
Way format.
Fucking like
entirely. It's just
+2 groups.
Photography. 65
It's crazy. I just be wanting to fucking do the first one.
Use old stale grease.
I ain't never used stale grease, and you know.
Shut up, Annie.
A nice helping of social commentary and lots of love for Black art and music. Even as I say this, it still sounds like way too much for one movie, but somehow it works. There's so much to talk about that I don't even know where to begin. Yet at the same time, if you're a regular viewer of the channel, or you're not, but you clicked on a video about Sinners that was released 6 months after the movie came out, then you might know that despite all this good stuff within Sinners, I kind of didn't want to make a video about this movie. It wasn't because of anything negative I got from the movie, but for some reason I found Sinners uninspiring in terms of a deeper analysis that I would need to make a video. So the question is, what changed? Well, a lot. And a lot of it comes back to that question. Why did we like Sinners so much? And what does it tell us about the nature of Black art, which I think the movie was greatly about? I promise it'll make sense by the end. This is the Black Media Breakdown.
The movie is dealing with like archetypes and what would become good culture. And it's really something that Coogler has always had. He's always had a knack for writing Black men. I wrote the original script based off of my relationship with my uncle. You know, when I find myself good, when I'm gonna think about him, I was listening to all the blues records. You know, it would kind of conjure his spirit. It would be like you were sitting there listening with him.
Part 1, what made Sinners so amazing? And understand, because I love the movie, that question is also to me. It's not a rhetorical question or meant to be snarky or ironic. It's not a gotcha. It's more so challenging us to do a self-inventory of our vulnerability to media to figure out what makes us tick. And how Coogler is probably better than anyone ever has been
My bad.
at doing this.
Cedric Robertson. Okay.
A movie this great deserves more than stands who get hypersensitive when someone says.
Remember he said that he didn't want to do this.
Get the highest praise. So I want to contribute to that by engaging in maybe the most important form of criticism around any piece of media, which is criticism that also asks the viewer to interrogate themselves. As a show of good faith, I'll start with myself. I knew Sinners was different when I encountered probably my second favorite scene of the whole movie, a third of the way in this moment between Smoke and his estranged lover Annie. And there's a lot of reasons to love this scene. It's a great performance by both actors. It's a really dramatic, important beat to understanding Smoke and Annie's characters. I don't know how many times I'm going to say this, but Michael B. Jordan really deserves an award. Wunmi Mosaku is also a chameleon, and she's a character actor in a variety of roles and often feels like a complete different person in all of them. So there's a lot of great elements of acting and representation here. The one most people talk about is Wunmi being a larger, dark-skinned black woman and being depicted as the lover of a lighter, more traditionally attractive black man. The absence of representation in this very normal type of coupling that if you see in real life is so bad that some people first assumed that Wunmi, who was the same age as Michael B. Jordan, was playing his mother.
The movie was cast, because I know you have a casting person, but he's involved in that.
Right.
Even though the movie is cast, it's not the way Hollywood would cast that movie. If Hollywood's in charge, they're not casting Wunmi as the romantic interest. And I hate the fact that I can say that with such authority.
Damn.
And I don't want that. And I love the fact that that's again a metaphor.
3 consecutive streams. Thanks, bro. Hell yeah, man.
Ryan is goes like, boom.
This guy looks like that fucking famous guy from that band, like the Black something. I forget what they're called. Like the Black Eyed Peas or something. No, not the Black Eyed Peas.
That would have gone down.
It's the guy that's
you know, her
what is his
ass is
name?
thick and and she's, you know, they would have called
So
her plus
famous.
size or something ridiculous, you know. Like that's the difference between a black person in charge who's making the decisions and has surrounded themselves with other black people and in the best way possible, allies who understand what the assignment is.
Another aspect of representation was the engagement with hoodoo as legitimate practice. Hoodoo being an umbrella term for a variety of traditional African spiritual practices that survived the Middle Passage and slavery. Something that is still practiced to this day by black people, often by black women. Hoodoo is different from voodoo, but like voodoo, is often depicted with this fantastical supernatural affect, which while that may be more interesting on screen, is often greatly misrepresenting the actual practice. And while I'm sure this wasn't the perfect representation of this practice compared to its real life counterpart, I've heard a few hoodoo practitioners say that this is the first time it felt like the representation of this practice was done with respect and not turning it into a farce.
What I appreciate about the depiction of hoodoo, as I feel about any sort of like West African diasporic practice in this lens, is it being taken seriously. And so to see hoodoo being treated as communal, as root work, as something that was people going to Annie as like this important part of the community to go for health and understanding. And also that like just kind of like any kind of faith, it's not magic, it's not limitless, it cannot bring back the dead, but it can provide comfort and a sense of grounding in this moment and identity. And that it was something that Annie was very much is like, I was praying for you the way that my mother prayed for me, that this is something that is ancestral and bound to her intimately.
So that representation is great,
deep,
bro.
It
was a third thing that stuck with me, and that's when
I've heard of hoodoo before, though.
Special powers on smoke.
That's like really interesting to hear, like other people like actually talk about like it coming back or it being like something that's
or complex love scene. But this specific moment to me sent me on a spiral of thought. When was the last time I saw a straight black man on the receiving end of this type of pleasure on screen in a serious tone? This is the type of pleasure that implies a deep connection to the person on the giving end. The type of pleasure that can only occur when someone, as Annie says in the scene, knows your body in ways that black men are often discouraged to understand about themselves. Again, shout out to Michael B's acting here. This face, this combination of ecstasy, fear, and relief, considering who Smoke is as a character, a former soldier, a current badass and outlaw, probably someone who's
ready, baby. Why is that level so low?
The way he opens up his body for her touch,
like 200.
That's not on accident. This is something that many black men would and have died for.
Over halfway,
between black people do exist on the screen all the time, but this moment of representation of receiving and relinquishing as a straight black man is a bit unique. And I know I wasn't the only man in the audience that was like, ooh, I know what he's dealing with right now. That's a dangerous woman.
What the hell?
A dangerous situation, but we do it anyway. So why did this scene connect with me and those other men? Because these are things I care about a lot. I made whole videos about black men's sexuality. And one of the core arguments in those videos is showing how black men's sexuality is often depicted as aggressive, dispassionate, dominating, etc.
The highest mass collection
I've
seen.
These are all real aspects of how black men express and experience sex, but it's not the entirety of black men's sexual being. However, it is what's most prominent in our stories in the media. So it's where everyone goes to when depicting us. It's also reinforced by social and cultural tropes reproduced by many men, often white men. And it doesn't take much to make the observation that many men, white and black, kind of act like they don't actually like women or sex in general.
Oh,
not
that's cute.
They're secretly gay, because gay men will tell you they deal with the same problems too. But that sensuality and pleasure is often stripped away from black men in a way that limits our ability to even appreciate this.
Person actually play the game.
Think about how many rap lyrics we've heard in the last decade or so that are basically denigrating the idea of receiving pleasure and seeing sex as just a thing you do to affirm your manhood. I'll never forget a song where Young Thug, way back in like 2015, was complaining about getting head and not being able to get an erection as if it was the woman's problem. Go watch that old video on black men's sexuality, but the point is that a variety of mechanisms throughout time that are both racist and sexist have stripped black men of being complete sexual beings, and our image has reinforced this mutilation. But for a moment in this film, we see the opposite, and it's really something that Coogler has always had. He's always had a knack for writing black men, which is why he's probably my favorite director, because I don't know if too many other black male directors really get to the totality of one, capturing and appreciating certain elements of traditional masculinity while also being challenging to those elements. This is also something we see in Fruitvale Station and Creek. And I know this about myself, so I immediately understood why I like this part of the film, why Coogler is my favorite director. It's because he does an excellent job balancing things in these films that I'm uniquely vulnerable to. But that's just me, and that's my second favorite part of the movie. And if you're watching me talk about Sinners 6 months after it came out, maybe even a year, depending on when you're actually coming around to this video, then I hope that's what you're here for. Not just a simple plot regurgitation or repeating things that you honestly could have heard from any other video essays. Well, I do get the feeling that nobody has fully touched on this one song from Remick, the Irish lead vampire.
Yo, what's up, Jeremiah? How you doing, man?
Further meaning I'm unaware of. And
Watching a video about Sinners.
I don't know a lot
what are you up to?
Ireland's history of anti-colonial resistance to the British.
Can you guys even hear the video?
Experiences with Black and Native American people in America, and I wish I knew someone that could get into that.
You do know me,
but I just don't.
No, you do.
I just can't think of a single person that might be useful
you do know me
here to relevantly explain that symbology.
I can explain it.
But we gotta move
on.
What? Let's talk about Sinners and capitalism for a bit. The vampire genre has a great advantage in the realm of critiquing social inequality, as vampire lore naturally lends itself to examining the nature of past.
Back in Miami, yo. I'm in Miami, bitch.
Many see
I'm in Miami, bitch.
But I see the alleged Marxist undertones as flawed and incomplete. It engages with some things
unshakable resolve.
The utopian appeal of Remick, who in many ways represents capitalism. Specifically, Remick's proposition for joining them is something that you at least might consider. I've had legitimate debates with people about whether or not it would have been better for everybody just to become a vampire with Remick. And I like this because in other anti-capitalist narratives, the capitalists are so cartoonish, evil, and bad. There's really no reason a person in the story or us watching would ever consider joining them in the first place. In a story like, say, The Hunger Games, it's easy to look at the people of the capital and their opulence and see them as wrong and believe
I'll try to pull them, but I didn't know. You know how in Chicago? Yeah. You told me. Yeah. I remember.
And want to join them. So as we're watching these types of anti-capitalist narratives, the dissonance ain't cognitive enough for some of y'all, so nothing seems to be learned. One thing that is forgotten in modern anti-capitalist discussions is that there was a time where capitalism was considered incredibly radical and progressive. Compared to feudalism and aristocracy, capitalism was revolutionary for its time. As I talked about in my Black Villains video, a good villain is the hero of their own story, and Remick in many ways feels understandable. He's not driven by racism as the aesthetics.
Oh, that's what it was. I watched a video about with this guy about being a villain.
Freed him from
that's what it was.
This framework of vampirism, to him, is the best thing for the people to go against their oppressors. You just have to die a horrible death first, and you'll never see the sun again, but you'll be free. So I do love that. I think that's very good and unique for any genre of social critique around to actually force you to consider if you're really with those who are oppressed or not. But this is also kind of where the film struggles with a level of conviction on this alleged anti-capitalist message. For one, aside from the horrible deaths, we don't actually see the negative ramifications of Remic's ideology. He doesn't balance it enough with showing the reason outside of the aforementioned brutal murder and son avoidance to not side with him.
Oh,
you still see Stack alive in the 90s, seemingly doing fine. A while back, I talked to one of my elders, Dr. Sundiata Gates at Chajua, about the film. He points out that another black vampire film did a much better job of engaging with this anti-capitalist message without coming off so preachy.
Vampires should represent capitalism.
Pass it.
Blade got that more right. The first Blade is clearly dealing with an anti-capitalist message, and it roots capitalism in whiteness, in the sense that that's Detroit, right? And one, you take those two scenes where they're meeting at the headquarters of the House of Erebus, and it's marble, lavish, and like being in a bank kind of thing. And then when they then jump cut to Blade driving from the hospital, and he's driving through the city of Detroit, and you can tell that it's been sucked out in the same way, that vampires would do a human. The time deindustrialization, deproletarianization has hit that city, and even the space that Blade and Whistler have as their headquarters isn't a defunct factory.
So in some ways, Sinners does a great job of engaging message, but in others, it comes off a bit too much. There's also this undercurrent of championing black business. Smoke and Stack at the end of the day are fighting to keep the piece of the pie they just bought, and there's different ways to interpret this, but it's ambiguous enough that the black wealth is black health type people will find something that they can champion within the movie, and I wish that wasn't the case. But I don't know if Coogler wanted that or if he wanted to do maybe the opposite. Sometimes when I watch Ryan Coogler's films, it's hard to tell exactly where his politics lie. He seems to indicate a lot of progressive, maybe radical politics, but a lot of that is left up to interpretation, and that interpretation can sometimes go in a different direction. And I find myself wondering where he really stands on a lot of things. And that's kind of it. That might be all I have to say about this movie that is of any real use. And this is why I didn't really want to make this video. Don't get me wrong. I wish I'd have made this video 6 months ago. The Kendrick Lamar Drake video money is drying up, and could use a big win in the algorithm. But and maybe what? Here we go. 10 things you didn't know about Sinners.
Welcome to Watch Negro. Today we're talking about the top 10 things you didn't catch about Sinners.
Somebody take me.
Number 10. Ryan Coogler is clearly a munch. Not only are all the men horny for pleasuring their ladies in this movie, but look at that man's mustache. That's an eater if I've ever seen one.
I want to again be clear. It's not that I didn't like the movie. I love this movie. But something about this movie, and more importantly, about the response to the movie, is off. And the nature of this, the fact that I could use this piece of art to make my own uninspired piece of art for the sake of making money and paying for the things I need to pay for. But this specific time, it wasn't right for me. It was too easy of a layup. And while I started this channel like on a whim, right? Because I wasn't satisfied with the way people talked about black media on YouTube, over time, I started to adopt a more grand purpose for the channel. I also grew as a creator and a person and a thinker, and my politics changed. I've come to recognize that what I was really frustrated with when I first started the channel was not the absence of the type of media I wanted specifically, but the nature of black media in general. And I recognized pretty quickly that even as I was becoming successful, I was also suddenly included in that problem. And I've struggled at times with understanding and managing that feeling, that I was in this machine that I was critiquing. And I needed my channel to continue to grow, but I also needed to feed my soul and make things that I found interesting and inspiring. And a Sinners video essay was not it. Ironically, this really great original black film, one of the most successful original films, black or otherwise, to come in decades, that happened to be about vampires, left me feeling kind of sucked dry. And then I hit 1 million subscribers. And it started to dawn on me that while I was going through the struggle, I was also becoming the biggest black figure in my genre on YouTube. And while it hasn't made me the wealthy, famous YouTuber I often joke about being, it has altered the reality of the space I occupy. I'm big enough now that legendary rappers and scholars mention me and my content on some of the largest platforms around.
Yeah, I really don't watch documentaries as much as I watch video essays. That's how I be learning everything.
FD Signifier, you ever people?
That's my dog.
I hate this game.
That's the one.
I fucking hate this game, bro. It's like I have the fucking thing to do it, and it doesn't do it.
My name has gotten big enough to be farmed for content by bad faith actors and Twitter trolls. I stopped being the scrappy underground figure, and now I am within the establishment. I am one of the big dogs. And while there's drawbacks, it has also been extremely beneficial, not just monetarily, but in what I'm able to make now. And that excites me. I'm excited that I can make bigger, cooler things on this
All go off after.
multinational corporation platform, who are also one of the biggest government contractors in existence. And that's
Holy
when it hit me
shit.
that my love for Ryan Coogler isn't just about his art. It's about his unique plight and position in this machine and how I can kind of relate to that, or relate to what I assume that plight might be. And I recognize now that Sinners was special, but also kind of dangerous. Dangerous, at least, if we don't unpack and understand what it did. Because it represents a higher level of filmmaking and thematic messaging than I think has been encountered up until this point in mainstream media. So much so that it challenged me to evaluate my own role in production.
Oh my god, I'm following them, and then they go to that one.
Is that with Sinners,
trolls!
Coogler, in a way, is signaling the end of black art, the top of the mountain, the pinnacle.
Holy fuck, this place.
He's kind of done with all of his films.
Holy.
The movie was able to do something.
How I talk, so I count as a viewer. Hell yeah, welcome.
This beautiful, radical piece of black art that also was wildly successful for a machine.
Holy
that
fuck, this
would only
game.
seek to destroy a beautiful, radical piece of black art. How was that possible? What is it about Coogler that made this happen? And to figure this out, we have to go back and talk about the truth behind this movie and its director. Part 2. How is this even possible? Sinners is a period piece horror musical, a premise that again was only greenlit because its director Ryan Coogler was able to call his shot finally. It's not what Hollywood is really looking for at all these days, if ever. It's got no nostalgia bait, no superheroes.
I was in Albuquerque, and it was night. Yeah, I remember Jeremiah.
Its lead actor,
what up, Nargo?
Yet he's tasked with playing.
My man's a viewer now. Hell yeah, man.
This man literally died in his own arms.
Welcome to the stream, brother. Welcome to the stream. Oh, let me leave this group before they kick me.
Never made a film based on an original idea and has never had to prove that he's good enough to make something people will watch.
Oh shit, they want to go again.
The film features indulgent.
Oh shit, they want to go again. Okay, we're going again.
Would have been cut for time and resources, that somehow those same scenes manage to be high points in the film. And it does all of this with the expectation that black audiences would leave their homes in a post-COVID world.
Because lurkers aren't people. Savage. It's okay.
Under Donald Trump.
Being a lurker's not a bad thing.
And we did,
Normal.
to the tune of around $400 million, making it the highest grossing horror movie ever and the second highest grossing original film in over a decade. But this isn't even the part that is all that interesting in my book, because if you know anything about Ryan Coogler, you know that boy's special and is quickly becoming the greatest black director that Hollywood has ever seen. And I have complex thoughts on what that means, both for us as the audience, for the Hollywood system, and for him as
It's okay, I count lurkers, man. Lurkers are people too. You guys have feelings. You're believers in me and others. I actually need to probably listen to this whenever I'm zoned out and playing the games. So we're gonna listen to music. Not Chris Brown. Too loud. I agree, but Twitch on it. Hey, fuck them though, man. Fuck them though, man. Just be yourself, man. You know. Up in here. I get a weapon. I just do it. Damn, that would fucking. Oh man. Gotta activate the 5. What? Jesus. Okay, we'll let it go. We'll let auto here. Turn the mobs on, buddy. Good guy. Just need to press like. Let's do 4 soldiers. Let's shoot the soldiers. Don't have to, okay. We don't have to do the 2 for points now. So I thought too. Say we don't need it, baby. We move on. What then you gonna do? Have you played Blue Protocol, Nargle? You protocoled yet? Have you found a reason to live yet? Anybody else? Kaboom? How's your studying going? Chat, I'm gonna be going back to school soon. That means that streaming will be probably like a few days a week now instead of like most of the time. Back in December, right after I finish training. Back. Oh, what? Never. What are you playing right now? Are you playing like New World? Oh wait, I heard New World's closing down. You guys believe that New World is fucking ending? I have a bunch of friends who are seriously playing New World. Ooh, Digimon. Right there. Hey, got him. Why me? Watch that shit, baby.
虚偽の神をあがめし人間よ。それも救われない。
There we go.
何も私は縛れない。虚飾エングラムを。
Ah.
虚飾の力が強まってる。
Holy hell. Oh, that's you got. I gotta pay attention to that one. Almost got this, almost got this. What the fuck? Why I think I'm like pinned. Getting pinned at like Alright, I'm at 250 now. Or is that 250 for that one? God. Check my bag. Ooh, a crit mastery. I watch this be dog shit. It's gonna be dog water so much. It's gonna be actually it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Attack speed. Really? Not happening, bro. That's strength, so I gotta wear it. Attack speed, I guess is better than nothing. Turn over to sell. Hey, I'm almost fucking there, man. What I do? All of them. So we finished all of those. But we want to do this. Look at life skills really quickly. Okay, we got some skill. Yeah. Gym crafting. Fuck me. Fair Age of Mythology. What the fuck? You been playing Age of Mythology, man? You playing the hella solo player games. You like my homeboy. All he do is play solo games. He loves them hoes, bro. I don't say I dislike solo games. It's just that it's hard for me to get into them. Oh yeah, I just make 11 of them hoes. Yes, they sold for a pretty penny. And with that, it was like bunch of these today. They make a bunch more tomorrow. Crazy. I'll be going crazy. I mean, 6. I gotta make 6 more of these hoes. Not bad. Give me some of this good water. Gym crafting going up. Hitting the stoinks, baby. The stoinks. Gym crafting ain't like mine's. That might be the next thing on Max. I'll try now. None of them hoes make them. I think it's because I need more of those. 10. It's fine. Yeah, 20. So, tomorrow. 3, baby. Just gonna make these. Yo, good night, dude. Try not to shit yourself like you just did again. Asshole's bleeding. You know hoes. Me, baby. So now it's going to store. So why not? Still not the lowest. It's crazy to me that sells at the lowest like that. Mastery, baby. Man. So just put that in there. Strength. Sure. I guess I'll keep it. Headed, baby. That's pretty fucking pog. Let's see. Just because I'm holding on to the whole guard, I guess, because I'm an idiot. I like to. There's Good night. I'm gonna probably go to bed soon too myself. I gotta start going to bed probably at like 10 so that I can start like getting more accustomed to like my new schedule. I gotta wake up at like 4 a.m. baby. Adult shit. Go to work. Oh wait, let me check my. Oh, I'm trying to look at. I'm trying to. Where do I see my fucking answers? You know. Oh, I got 250. See? Not at all what that was. Maybe. Check something. And first.
ご主人困ったな。
So better. Ooh, man. I just started to stream, but I am. Ooh. See which one sells the most. It makes sense. Oh, it's acting like that. Oh, nice. Okay. It looks like a Naruto character. Singing. Oh, baby. Oh, damn. Live stream next week, Batman. Yeah. What day you want to do it? I thought we were supposed to be doing it like Thursday this week. I thought. Was it today? Wednesday next week? Think I do. Oh, let me double check that Wednesday tonight / tomorrow. I'll let you know tomorrow. I think next Wednesday by date night. When Naomi. I think it's her turn next week. Double check that, but I think I can. I thought that we were supposed to do something this week. Remember I asked you like yesterday or something? I think it was yesterday. I think. But maybe, I don't know. Check your calendar real quick and let me see. We planning for something this week? I know it was when you were streaming when I had asked you. I just came when you were streaming. I was like, yo, you want to play Batman right now? And you were like, oh, I'm about to go to bed. Nobody. To the way I do. Nobody. Nobody. Way I do. Nobody. Got you the way I do. Nobody. Got you the way I do. Hey. Okay, next week, yeah. I was bugging. Can't do Thursday, okay. Alright, yeah. Wednesday, next Wednesday. Okay, I'm gonna let you know for sure. Let's try to do Wednesday or Thursday. Can you do next Wednesday or Thursday next week? Okay, yeah, tentative Thursday, but we'll go for Wednesday. To do the pants and do the rock away. Play boys. Damn. Ooh. Goddamn. Yo, nighttime, bro. I'm about to go to bed soon too, man. Next less than 30 minutes. Gotta start going to bed much earlier because I got a new schedule for the next fucking 6 months. Fucking sucks, but it is. Oof, have to watch out for that. I'm the one that grouped all those dudes together. I don't know how to tell which one it is. Back, baby.
競技の神を崇めし人間よ。俺が負けるなんて。
My fault.
助かったよ。
It's okay. I'm going to bed. Thanks for watching the stream, guys. You guys have a good night.